Hello, this is Adam Goldberg, co-founder and chief innovation officer at Clear Sailing. This is the first video blog that we're going to do in a series of 10 that addresses a paper we wrote called the Attribution Management Buyers Guide. If you'd like to read that buyer's guide in its entirety, you can do so on one of our websites, www.attributionmanagement.com. So first off, what is attribution management? Let's give it a definition. Attribution management is the process of tracking, assembling, and properly valuing online advertisements in addition to online marketing vehicles that ultimately lead to sale or conversion, and then taking that sale and conversion and finding out how to attribute that credit back across the team of ads that was involved. This is the first video in the series that we're going to do, and in this video we're going to focus on the topic of attribution variables. So what are attribution variables? Well, in order to perform attribution management, you need to track that team of ads, assemble them as we said, and then you need to assign credit to each one of the ads that was involved in that sale or that conversion. There are fundamentally three types of variables that are generally used when doing attribution. The first one is profit, the second one that is used is revenue, and the third one is just conversions or orders. Most applications that offer attribution management do one of those three, and some of them are able to do all three of the ones that we mentioned there, and that would obviously be ideal. So what I want to quickly do is talk through each one of those variables, explain kind of the pros that that variable offers, cons if any, and then finish off with a final thought. So the top variable, or the best variable to be able to use when doing attribution, is that of profit. The pros for that are, businesses are in business for one reason, is to generate profit. Anytime you have the opportunity to measure one of your business initiatives, advertising, do we add a new department, is this employee doing what they're supposed to do, if you can tie that to the bottom line or the profit that they're able to contribute, that gives you a very definitive answer on the impact that that ad or that marketing initiative or that business goal is having to the bottom line. There really are no cons when using profit. The only con might be is that some companies just have a very difficult time getting to profitability. And when we say profit, what we're talking about is not just that a sale occurred or knowing the revenue amount, but taking the revenue that was earned, understanding what products or services were sold, backing out the cost of those goods and services, applying any tax and shipping rules, and backing out the cost of advertising. And as I said in the con, for some businesses, it's more challenging than just doing that. The next variable that we would recommend if you can't use profit is that of revenue. Revenue obviously can't tell you about the profitability that's earned, but you can make an inference, right? You can say that if this ad has driven a lot of revenue that you can tie to it relative to the cost of that ad, it's probably likely that that ad is performing in a positive manner and an ad that you would like to continue to go ahead and work with. The con of that is it's not profit, so there is the risk that you run just because it appears to be trending in a way that's showing a lot of revenue does not automatically mean that it's profitable. So at times we may make an assumption that because we see revenue tied to an ad or a team of ads that they're also generating profit, but given that there's different margins and cost of goods sold, it could indeed actually be an ad that's losing us money, and we're sort of fooled into believing that it's doing so. And the third variable out there is that of conversions. And pro of that is, it gives you a good picture or an ability to see certain ads that might be happening at the top of the funnel. For example, a very general keyword might not show up so well as a closer, but when we divide, the conversions across, we might see that it helped to introduce or influence, 10 or 20 different orders. So it can start to show us, which of our ads are kind of like this linchpin or this point guard in a basketball court that are really helpful in making other ads succeed. The con of using conversions, however, is, again, it's not profit, it's not revenue, and it's virtually impossible to perform attribution against it. Just because an ad has 10.8 orders doesn't mean that it's generated enough revenue and, most importantly, profit to continue to bid on it. How much bid change should you make to that? How much of your budget should you push to an ad as a result of that? Given that all conversions aren't created equal, just knowing that number without a revenue or profit metric can be very difficult to attribute against. So one final thought, profit is the best metric, the ultimate metric to use when doing attribution. Some vendors that offer it, though, might offer at different levels. So it's important that you ask how they're calculating profit. Ideally, you want them to take the revenue, deduct from that the cost of goods sold, the cost of the advertising, and apply tax and shipping rules. Some companies might say that they offer profit, but simply are just taking your revenue amount and allowing you to apply a flat margin, which obviously is not as accurate. So I want to thank you for your time. I am Adam Goldberg, co-founder and chief innovation officer at Clear Sailing. This is the first in a series of 10 blogs on this subject. If you'd like to read more or like to read the guide today, you can do so again by visiting www.attributionmanagement.com. Thank you.